The vice president may be a recent convert, but it takes a special kind of evil and malice to engage in what large numbers of the American hierarchy did for decades. They preyed on young boys and destroyed countless lives. When it comes to the poor and protecting the marginalized, the bishops and their enablers may just want to sit this one out. It'd be downright funny if it wasn't so serious. The verbal war between Catholic Vice President J.D. Vance and the Church of Nice establishment circling the wagons around the bishops. Just like the political left, who have their Marxist media for their bullhorns, so too the nation's bishops have media who sound off with their messaging. The Church of Nice is actually pretty nasty, at least when it needs to be or thinks it needs to be. And in the case of J.D. Vance, supporting the USAID cuts and calling out all the billions siphoned to Catholic outfits to carry out the deep state's dirty business, the Church of Nice has jumped downright ugly. The Church of Nice puts the most attractive lipstick it can find on the face of that social justice pig and lauds the bishops for standing up for the poor. If the bishops want to take up collections, which they do, for private support for the poor, have at it, as long as the money is being spent the way it's being advertised. But that's not really been the case much or even most of the time now, has it? The social work of the church is oftentimes offshored to unfaithful Catholics, even non-Catholics, right there in the nation's chanceries and charity offices around the country. Catholic Charities willfully broke the law for years, smuggling illegal aliens into the U.S. so they could keep collecting billions and billions of dollars, and then paid top executives gigantic salaries. Over yet another bishop-led outfit, Catholic Relief Services, CRS, which is U.S. headquartered in Baltimore, the truth has finally caught up to them as the Catholic agency prepares to fire at least 200 of its 400-person staff, since about, get this, 70% of its funding comes from USAID. Why is this important beyond just the U.S. aid part of the story? Well, because for years, CRS has pushed contraception in partnership with pro-death organizations all around the world, to help the poor. Apparently, one way CRS sees to eradicate poverty is just to eradicate the poor, prevent them from ever being conceived. A few years ago, then Catholic Relief Services CEO Carolyn Wu was at an Ohio parish where I was at, covering and reporting on her presentation to the assembled liberal Catholics. There she is right there. Nice little smile and all. Notice that tip-off word, global. Whenever you see global, head for the hills. She said to them, paraphrasing now, "The world is overpopulated, and we must lower the birth rate in these poor countries." Well, wouldn't you know it? That policy was directly hewing right up to Obama's foreign policy in all of these third world countries. And that's where she was getting the money from. Obama, USAID. And for the record, as head of Catholic Relief Services, that charitable institution, Carolyn Wu pulled down almost $500,000 a year for pay. $460,000 to be exact. Nice work if you can get it, and are down with trading your soul away in the process. Here's the head of CRS, Catholic Relief Services. Catholic. Pushing for contraception in poorer nations in obvious contradiction of Catholic teaching, and getting rich in the process from your tax dollars. That's a triple header right there. And of course, the bishops and the rest of the Church of Nice establishment, well, they just whistled past the graveyard. Oh, well, but they do good work too. They make mosquito netting and they help dig wells. So what? You can help dig wells without passing out condoms when the digging is done. But the Bishops' International Aid Organization wouldn't get all that money for all those years if it wouldn't have supported immoral government policies of the deep state. No wonder Bill and Melinda Gates were donors to CRS. We got the same philosophy. But the bishops' Catholic media bullhorns don't tell you any of this. They just hurl insults at Vance, saying how galling it is for a recent convert to challenge the bishops on Catholic teaching. Excuse us? Challenge the bishops on Catholic teaching? The same bishops who, after 70 million and counting slaughtered children have yet to take up one single national collection ever for the pro-life cause because, well, that would just piss off the deep state, the source of their funding. In the past half century, the U.S. bishops has taken up approximately 700 national collections. Not one has been for the protection of preborn life. Let that sink in. Are we talking about here the same Catholic bishops who partner with international organizations that promote abortion and birth control around the world and use the cover of helping dig wells as making it okay? There's also a little something here that the Church of Nice Bishop Protectors need to stop ignoring, and it's the credibility gap of the bishops. Mocking J.D. and his recent conversion and comparing it to an organized syndicate that raped altar boys by the thousands and or covered it up, shuttled offending clergy around all over the country to hide them, and then scurried them out of the country in the dead of night to avoid the law, and then lied about it in court and the public, and then re-victimized thousands in settlement conferences and depositions, and then used lay people's money by the billions to make largely secret payments, and went to extraordinary lengths to prevent state legislatures from rolling back the laws so survivors could sue, and then declared dozens of diocesan bankruptcies to just block further legal discovery and any future payouts, and paid legal teams tens of millions of dollars to blunt the truth and its consequences at every single turn. That group just might not want to be the ones you promote as an example of knowing the faith and contrasting them with J.D. Vance. The vice president may be a recent convert, but it takes a special kind of evil and malice to engage in what large numbers of the American hierarchy did for decades. They preyed on young boys and destroyed countless lives. When it comes to the poor and protecting the marginalized, the bishops and their enablers may just want to sit this one out. Coming to you from Houston, Texas, yeehaw, I'm Gary Michael Voris. God love you.